Welcome back to the Marketing Boost. Today I have Ryan Beltran from ChainCraft. A little bit of different vibe. It's crypto, it's gaming. Maybe we don't want to lead with the crypto part, but it's gaming, it's crypto.
Yeah.
But welcome to the show. You've been on the other Boost marketing or the other Boost channel shows, the Social Ledger. So it's fun to have you here this time.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Cool.
Glad to be here.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then tell us about ChainCraft. So
Sure.
two questions all at once.
So I'm Ryan Beltran. I born and raised in San Antonio. Always been sort of a techie at heart. My background is actually in film and video and tech. I started a nonprofit that dealt with bringing students challenges to building water purification kits that could then be taken like all around the world. We went to the White House with that back in the day with saws.
That's pretty cool.
I was
making an actual impact and getting to do the White House, I think, is a cool thing.
That was fascinating. Like that was so wonderful. And I got to meet a lot of wonderful people through that. But yeah, that has been a journey. And so I've always been like, when new tech came out, like just tinkering with it and checking it out. And so blockchain was one of those things. Really got into just the ability to, like decentralize finance and but also like the kind of neat, innovative online things that people were doing on the fringes outside of just finance with it. And then AI came around, and I really got into that too because it was just so helpful with MakeWater, just helping with just doing so many tasks easily, and just how fascinating it is for this time in the world.
When did you get into the blockchain? Like, are we talking Bitcoin era or more of like 2018 when it all kind of hit?
It's so funny because I'm such a techie that like Bitcoin did come across my path, but I didn't bite. Like I think I was like traveling in my life that time, and at the time my first thought was like Bitcoin, like digital money, doesn't PayPal already do that? And then I just never thought about it again. And oh man, I wish I did, because I usually do just dive into things. But yeah, so when I really got into it was in, I think, 21.
Okay.
And it was through gaming, actually. There was this project called The Sandbox that was selling game land. And I thought it was interesting, so I bought some, and then I saw it went up in price, so I sold it. And I was like, wow, this is interesting. I made a little money, but I just liked the idea, and always have and always will, and still like in my heart, this like, oh, game assets, you can own them and resell them and not have to like deal like if ever you wanted to resell something in an MMO, you'd have to like do it off like in like you could break your contract with World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft is
banned,
the prime
basically.
example. They would sell accounts.
Yeah.
They would do it. CSGO, people would sell stuff.
Yeah.
Like it has been an under market for forever. Like people would buy like seasoned Call of Duty accounts because they were just so happy, or Xbox accounts. Like they wanted to have that high rank without the grind.
I really think there's this like water behind a dam that is just like starting to overflow, where these people, a lot of them don't even realize that's a possibility. But once they're like, hey, I can sell my account and it's not like gonna get anybody banned, if that becomes more of a like thing and a more understood possibility, that's really where like blockchain, I think, would shine. And I think it's just a matter of time, whether it's going to be soon or later. But anyway, that kind of is a good segue into ChainCraft, because it's blockchain and it's AI, and it's merging the two in this sort of way that really is creative in just setting up tools for game builders and game players to have their own like economics and how they can make money while they make games. Collaborate on making games, and do it in sort of this intuitive way. And that's sort of from the very beginning what we wanted to do with ChainCraft. So
I like it, and I think there's a moment. Stardew Valley is like one of those games where
kid plays it. My kid loves it. Yeah.
It's an amazing game, but it was one developer that I don't want to say slaved away, but he gave his whole life to that game, built it himself, I think he composed the music. Like,
really,
I think he did so many parts to it himself, and it paid off to some extent. And I'm seeing more and more, and we were talking about this a little before the show, is these developers come on, they get to Steam, they get either destroyed or they get praised.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing a lot more single indie games pop up that are really well done.
Yeah.
And they're also really fun, and the dynamics are different. Like, can you like explain ChainCraft a little bit more? I know it's text-based, and I've played with it a little bit, but give me that elevator pitch.
So the elevator pitch is that if you are a creator, we want you to have a really easy time making that vision that you have become a reality, but not just stopping there, because there's a lot of AI game builders or just AI projects out there that help you build things. But we want to go the extra step where we not only want you to build it well and not so buggy, but also have economics and a method and a route to earn like revenue from it. So a lot of places you will build a game, and usually they're like touted as one-shot game builders, one prompt, which sounds amazing, but in real life that's a fantasy. Like, you can't build a robust game in one prompt. Like, it takes a journey. Like, you have to like be a little bit of back and forth with your game. You have to mold it like clay. But even so, it's like those use brute force to try to make a game that then you have to debug. And that takes a lot of time, a lot of AI tokens, whereas we're trying to make it in this way where there's a strong foundation, where we actually have a great engine that you interact with until like you can iterate, and then even open it up early, have people play it, get feedback, and then keep even building the game after it's published. You can update it. So have that path, but then also have a way that's very already embraced, and that's through predominantly items. So like item sales, and items can be things like, like each item could be a life to play a game, or each item can be your stats, or your gear that you acquire in the game, or cards or abilities or spells. You can get kind of creative if in that little like sort of sandbox itself. So that's kind of the way we're taking.
I like the idea of a life one.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking of a game right now. Like I know there's some games out there where you play it once and you have one life, and after that you can't play it again.
Yeah.
Like, it would be kind of cool to, buy a life and, play it through, and then that's it. That's over, and then you got to buy another one. Or the spell one's interesting.
Yeah.
Like thinking survival type games where you could go, do something, and then you need a spell to breathe underwater or something like that.
And there's so many ideas that I've had to like just put on this list of like, I have our roadmap, and then at the very end I have this like really long list. It's the wish list that I'm like, no, this is not yet in the roadmap. I
call it parking lot.
Yeah. I throw it to that wish list, and if you go through that wish list, there's some amazing things that we can build with the foundation we have, and some of them get into like, because it's multiplayer inherently. You don't have to make your game multiplayer, but it's browser based. You don't have to like download anything. We're really trying to reduce the friction, but some of the game ideas are like live making spells on the spot, like who can make a spell faster, and will it work, will it not, like involving like contracts, like being able to lose all your gear, like, and somebody else take it, or a boss take it, and then you have to go and battle it to get it back. There's a lot of things like that, and I can't even wait when more people come and give their ideas and 2 cents, like the sort of ideas we can build. But the foundation is a lot of it is there. It's like 90% there. The rest of it is a lot easier to lay over it and build on top of, now that we've got that.
And what's interesting is, I think, and again, we touched on it a little bit before, is I think crypto right now has a big marketing problem. It's confusing, it's hard to use, and a little over complex for what it should be. I think you say crypto to somebody, and somebody goes, I don't want to think about getting a wallet and on ramping and all of that. You were talking about it like the future of your game, the future of everything. I think is going to become infrastructure, and getting people to your game is not going to be crypto. Like, can you kind of talk through that? Because it's a confusing thing when you say crypto. You think super techy, but
Yeah.
really in reality, you don't want it to be.
I'm glad you bring that up because I could be talking about ChainCraft without even bringing up blockchain. Like the idea is to get it as frictionless and as simple as possible. So you just focus on the game. You focus on like if you earn money, that the on ramp and off ramp for that money is very similar to what everybody's already used to. Just the infrastructure being blockchain and a lot that's already built on it. That's the method that we sort of have. We're building this platform to be very much for just gamers. You don't have to be a techie. And I feel like I've lived through like the internet and how it grew and how hard it was to use. Like it's showing like my age, but like I used Prodigy and then I used AOL and it was very chat roomy and using the phone line to. So I saw how things were very high friction and how. If you just gave it some time and people kept chipping away at the infrastructure and just to make it easier and easier and easier, that's happening with blockchain. It's just going to become a boring thing in the background that is doing a good job at something or taking out the middleman of something and kind of pushing the benefits to the user. And so I know that, and I've seen it in other realms, so I just know it's going to get there. Like I'm just trying to build and meet it to be there when it happens, That's
a good way to put it. And especially if you think early internet days from like 1995 onwards, it was hard. You didn't really have anything. AOL kind of revolutionized it. And then it just got easier and easier. And then Google came about, and Google was kind of the glue that got you from, going somewhere to actually like finding another website, to finding another thing. Because before then you had to know where you were going, or you had to know what you wanted to do.
You had to be like advertised to, or like where to find that thing, that site, or you were stuck in AOL where it was just there. It was a centralized service, so you didn't even really have. Like I remember being on AOL and it was mostly chatting to people. It was the community part that was actually really mind blowing. And actually going back to games like. Some of my favorite games were like MMOs, like EverQuest is like one of my all-time favorite games. Biggest MMO before World of Warcraft. And I loved World of Warcraft too, but just EverQuest had such a profound impact on me, like how you were connected to people. And honestly, there's a lot also that was never done just the way they did it, even for that time. Kaplan actually has like the head of Blizzard, or he was like one of the top guys at Blizzard, had a really great Lex Friedman podcast. I'll recommend that to anybody, where he had a big part where he's like, EverQuest was like such a big part of my life and got him into Blizzard actually. But anyway, that community aspect is a big part that I love about what we're also trying to build on ChainCraft, is that when you build, you're going to be able to build either parallel to some other project if they allow it. Like you can build items for somebody else's game. Okay. And that's another thing that you don't see.
It's kind of like mods these days. Like,
yeah.
They're not fully sanctioned, but I think of Valve, and there was a game that the Valve abandoned and the community essentially built all around, and then Valve finally released it as like a official one. But essentially, you're going to let creator creates the games, and then all of the fans and all the creators can kind of contribute to it to make it the community run version of it.
So exactly. So if it can be a little bit more interoperable than that. Like if it's a card game, for instance, our first kind of version of ChainCraft that's going to be our first major sort of game category is going to be TCGs. So it's very easy to cross over if you're a normal gamer. Items are going to be cards, virtual cards, and so if I make a dungeon crawler or something with like D&D rules, I can make a campaign for it, and then somebody else can be like, well, I'll make a way to like craft items from the items in your campaign, or I will have another like dungeon like part of your. So it's like it is kind of like the mod community, but a little bit like easier. You could do it from your phone without like really getting into code or anything. Like I'm excited for that aspect of it too.
That's very cool. Now you're talking community. I want to talk the marketing aspect. Like I know you haven't hit the market yet. You're not fully released, but how are you looking at the marketing? How are you going to get this into the hands of people out there?
So It's going to be like a couple different methods. One of the biggest, I think, for us is partnerships. There's a lot of already existing like people out there that play and build games, card games, D&D games. Card games are like TCG is just such a huge market right now. And there's a lot of people who build IRL ones and virtual ones, and it's very easy to say, hey, this is a game that you can actually try your game on our platform, and you get like 95% of the revenue versus what we get compared to what you could get. And you can instantly try out and iterate your game ideas and mechanics. So there's a lot of time where people are making something, but they don't have anybody to play with. It's easy for them to do that. But then also outside of that, we're building the way the economics are set up is very incentivized to be self-propelled. Like, so part of the marketing and growth that we have is based on other blockchain projects that we've seen have the same sort of virality and word of mouth that has been able to grow exponentially, especially within this space. It's a tight-knit space, the blockchain space, especially like crypto, Twitter, and stuff. So when something comes out, it can get really big fast, especially in the AI being another layer of it. And we know we have that like one shot, so we don't want to ruin it. So we want to have all these features set up, and those features include referral links, earning if you get somebody else on that makes a game and they make money, you could earn as well. And another one is the actual, like when you make a game, there's an easy way to share about it and post about it. When a game ends, and if it's like a really fun or interesting game that turned out, you can share that moment because the games have a state on our website. So every game you can go back and revisit. It's like there, and that will also have a way to refer somebody in. So there's a lot of this like community aspect where you can share what you have built with others, and they have you have incentive to share. And then building on our platform, you have incentive because you could earn, if you bring people in to sell cards, sell items, sell packs, things like that.
So I think there's two parts to that. There's an affiliate kind of methodology to it, which I believe the internet really, really built out, and affiliate marketing is a massive thing out there.
Yeah.
And then the other part to it is creators.
Yes.
More than ever, people are becoming creators, and people are looking at it as a business and a job, like one and one. They own the business and they own the job. It's the classic dilemma that many people run into. And then there's that affiliate system where there's probably just somebody who's like, man, come play with me, and then you get more money that you can spend inside of the game. It is AI having like an influence on that? Like I feel like AI is preventing you guys from going and just like doing mass like outreach and all of that anyway. So you're looking at it as like a one-to-one, let's get real people to...
I think that's the base layer of it, but there's certain things like where AI actually becomes helpful with marketing strategies, but also the trends in AI. Like every little innovation gets so over. I see it 5 times. So that's another one of those things that we're waiting on till we have like a few of those in the pipeline, that we have routes to be able to share like this aspect of our game is innovative, and when it's ready to be like shown to the public, like those are things that are very shareable and very like retweetable. Like those are those things that I've seen things that are nowhere near what we've done and in scope and scale, get tons and tons of views, just get viral. So part of that is that you can't ever completely bet on like, oh, I'm gonna make it and they will come. So there's this mixed model of that, but also working one-on-one with like game creators who have made in the past, streamers who have made games or build games or play games. And we have access to a few of those as well. So it's going to be like a mixed bag of things. And then another thing that blockchain kind of has that like the Web 2 space does not have, like everything that your history is on the blockchain. It's a ledger. Like it's there. Like you see histories of who's played this game, like who's played that game. There's stagnant NFT projects out there, game projects out there. And there are people who are just like, oh, I loved this community and it just kind of died out. Those are wonderful, just waiting to be poked at like potential customers that you easily have access to through the wallet, through the ledger, the blockchain. I've seen a couple people do this, like a couple of other businesses do this as a like way to really catch fire and get those projects to come on. And that's another route we also have in our like tool belt to be able to say, hey, this project, you can come and mint a game or mint a game piece comparable to like the NFT you have in this project, and it's a unique one to anybody in this project. Maybe you get like really a month to mint, and that can be part of this game or that game.
How are you reaching those influencers, like the gamers and everything? Are they inherently interested in this, or are you like doing cold outreach? Are you building relationships?
So this gets into like the entrepreneur, like me showing the vulnerability side. It's like we're in this spot of like a gap of we have the engine, we have the foundation, but there's that like traction side where some features we still want to have. And we have everybody that we've shown it to is like, I want graphics, I want UI, and those are things that are our next phase. So like they're interested, but they want to have like something more to like sink their teeth into. And that's on our actual next agenda, next step, to fill in that gap, to get these people, these early people that have checked it out and we're like, that's cool. It's text-based right now, which honestly will only get you so far. So that's what we're excited to be able to be like, oh, now you have a lot more to sink your teeth into, visual and to show off and share.
The visual is really big. Like I think I went to Dallas recently, and I went to it's called Cidercade. If you're ever in Dallas, you should go check it out. It's got retro games, like pinball machines, but there was a few games that were just really basic. Just one of them was, and I don't know the name of it.
Yeah.
There's two people fighting.
Yeah.
And one of them has to run to the right and then make it to a door, and if you can get to that door, you win. But that other person's running after you and trying to just, kill you
before you get to the door.
Yeah, get to the door, and then you respawn, and then while that person that just got killed is respawning, the other person's running to the other door. So it's a constant battle back and forth. And that was just a fun game. Graphics were just abysmally bad. It's a game from the 80s, I believe. But those are like things that I wouldn't have thought would have been fun. But it was something that I would have played with a friend. I would have streamed on Twitch. Those are the games that are in there. And those are the things that, like, it's just a little visual when you add it on there.
Exactly. Like you don't need to have like beautiful, amazing, like for instance, like Google came out with that you can walk in a like generated space, you know, and a lot of people made like, oh, it looks like I made it look like a game, this, that, and it's really cool, but then it's just cool for like, 30 seconds. And there's no depth. It's really beautiful, and it's really like exciting about like the technology side of it, and it probably costs a ton of AI tokens to do, but we want to live and at least start, and our wedge is those like, just be creative. Like if we have the foundation of you being able to make like a game, like you said, like one of my favorite games right now, when you have constraints, you do what you can. At least for me, starting out, testing out the platform, you do what you can within those constraints, and you get creative. The game that I like is Superhero Showdown, which is very simple. You versus another person. You quickly come up with any kind of being or superhero, and the AI will battle them, and it'll give you a narrative of who won. And it's kind of silly, kind of like announcer style. But even stuff like that, little ideas where, you can have AI be a factor in this game, which is a new thing, or not. We kind of just want to build those tools and make it as easy, low friction for anybody to build and sort of see those things that pop up.
So interesting part on the AI, you're talking about it creating, but it's also with a person creating. Like a lot of artists that I know, and a lot of people that I know, like we've seen the college speeches. Somebody says AI and they just get booed continuously. Like it sounds like you're saying that creation with AI is going to be a thing, and that creators just have to kind of embrace it in a path here.
Yeah, I think so. I kind of also go back to, I have a background in, like I told you, film and video, and before that, photography. I loved photography. I went in college to learn how to do the dark room.
Oh, that's
even
super cool.
even a bit in high school. Like I still the smell of like the developer and stuff. And I was there when like digital started to come in.
Yeah.
And I very much saw the parallels of like screw digital. Like it's nowhere near as good, and it's ruining it. You know what I mean? And there were the people that were on this like spectrum of like just, you mentioned digital photography and they would just shut you down right then and there, to, you know, like right in the middle. I would say I was like, and this is digital over here, I was like right here. I was like, okay, I want to learn like digital, like I'm open to that. And I see that same thing with AI, and it's understandable. There's things that when there's such a big transition, you have to be thoughtful about it and understand it. But I really think at the end of the day, like creativity and creators, like AI, and maybe one day this will be different, but AI still doesn't have taste.
No,
does
it
not
does
have
not.
good taste. So it's like if you are a creator that has good taste, has a unique style, like that is, and not just style, it's still the taste, you know? The way of doing things. It's like you have your niche, you have your ability to do that, and AI is just sort of this tool. It's another paintbrush. It's just a new paintbrush. And that's how I look at it. So I try to be thoughtful about the way I use it, and I know AI games and game development is very polarizing, but at the end of the day, if a game is made that used AI that is good, it's just going to be a good game.
Yeah.
You know, like if it's slop, you know, tear it down because it's a bad game. You know, tear it down because it looks horrible, doesn't draw you in, doesn't have like any depth. Like, so at the end of the day, that's how I look at it. Like,
No, I like it, and I agree with it. That
Yeah.
I always tell people that AI doesn't have taste. And I'm seeing it more and more. People that are using AI, sometimes they're the most creative people, and they're able to build something that's so advanced that you would have never thought of or been able to build it as a human. But now you have AI to process a lot more data,
Yeah.
and then that person was able to create creative solutions for a problem that was not easily solvable pre-AI.
Yeah. And even to that point, so there's like this if creators embrace it as a tool, part of our mindset and going forward with ChainCraft is like, if you are an artist, you can itemize or tokenize your graphics, your style, so that you can get royalties or sell that other people use in their games.
That makes me think of it was that trend, it was related to the anime style that everybody did
Like
on
the Ghibli?
Yeah, the Ghibli.
Yeah.
Like if artists could do that and then get a small commission every time an AI generated the
Yeah.
same style, like those would be really cool usages and royalty systems, because copyright wasn't made for the digital age. Like, you know, the copyright rules are if you make a copy of a song
Yeah.
and you burn it onto a CD, you're breaking copyright law.
Yeah.
Like we need a modern system, and it sounds like in a lot of ways blockchain could bring that
It could
for
bring
creators and people on the internet.
Yeah, and I just see this route. You know, people are making. There are sites where there are LoRa's where artists will make their style of something that you can utilize. It's just so dispersed or so specific. Like when you go to a site that it's for this sort of use, where we want to do that similar thing where if an artist has a great skin or style, your card back or your card style or your your playing field, your tabletop could be in that style.
Yeah.
And then they get a little royalty off of every time they sell a card. So everybody sort of wins in this setup if we do it just right, and the creators have a little bit more freedom of how their economic model is going to be. We're just, again, trying to set up the tool set and have this like listen to the creators and see how best we can meet them for what they'd like the platform to have, and then follow through, you know.
I like it. The final question I have is, you know, you're an entrepreneur, you're struggling through this just like all of us have.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to somebody that is trying to build a game out there or trying to build a startup similar to yours?
So I would say, like, always, you know, people have dreams and they really want, like, you can sometimes be so headstrong on something, but always double check it. Like, check yourself, like, check what other people, like, get feedback on your idea. Because if you live in like an echo chamber, like, you may be going down the wrong path on building something. So that is a strong thing that I say is, like, be checking what you're building, what you're passionate about, and see if you're, like, maybe you need to just adjust a little bit, maybe you need to drop it completely. But I think that is such a big thing that people don't do, that is very helpful. It'll do nothing but help you if you get enough feedback about your
and step outside that echo chamber.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and I see that a lot as people ask their friends, and their friends are the same. They're cut from the same cloth. You're the accumulation of the 5 closest friends you have. And as soon as they step outside, they're like, oh my gosh, like, this isn't really doing it.
Or they're just telling me what I want to hear, like, you need to
classic part.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, really thank you for joining the podcast. Where can people find you on the internet? Like, do you want to share the ChainCraft, anything? Give them the links out there.
So go to chaincraft.games is our main website, and at ChainCraft Games for Instagram, Twitter. You can find us there. And through our website, you can find our Discord. Come there and you can reach out to us and maybe get an early play test. Yeah.
Perfect. We'll put all that in the show notes. And thank you so much, Ryan, for joining us.
Thank you. Great to be here.